African film producer Anant Singh and the Nelson Mandela Foundation have launched a film on gender-based violence. Now, the aim is to raise further awareness about the GBV crisis that's facing South Africa. Actress Leleti Khumalo and Jessina Michelle's Kutlega movement also worked alongside Singh on this project. Anant Singh joins us now to shed some light on the inspiration behind this movie. Anant, good morning to you, and thank you for your time.
Good morning and a happy Women's Day to all your listeners and viewers. Thank you.
Well, tell us more about this gender-based violence initiative and what are you hoping it will achieve?
Well, I think when the president made the call a few weeks ago to the issue of another pandemic, I felt it resonated with me, and I felt, let me use the medium of film, which I've used to speak out against apartheid, against the HIV and AIDS scourge, and do something in the medium of motion picture. Because I think a picture can paint 1,000 words, and we took footage from films that we had created over the years and tried to bring the message to the people, not only of South Africa, but our entire continent and the world, because it's an issue that prevails, probably more so, very much more so in our country, but as something that I felt important to use that medium and tell a story, and to have Leleti be a part of it, because she has been on the wrong side, or a victim of gender-based violence, as you saw in the papers this morning. And that was really something that she felt about.
Absolutely. Well, I understand that this film is slightly different from any of your previous work. And I mean, in South Africa, unfortunately, you don't really have to look far. But where did you draw inspiration and reference from to ensure that this film feels true and even relatable?
Well, I think the narrative of the issue and the denial it has been a very important component, because whether it was HIV and AIDS and the experience we had with that, where we went to mines with the film and the miners who were positive were still in denial. And it's very much the same kind of mentality that people do it almost like men do it, as almost as the norm. And I think there's a shift that is necessary in the entire nation to look further, look deeper into how we become better human beings. And I think, when we come from a heritage of Ubuntu and find ourselves in this situation today, it is a very sad indictment of the men of our country.
Launch of this film, which was online, it also included a panel discussion, and I think it was the Minister Maitengwane Mashabane who said that all perpetrators need to consume films like this, dialogues addressing their toxic masculinities, and to free themselves from thinking that the abuse of women and children makes them men. Why do you think it's so important, for these films to exist? And can a film really change the way people behave, considering that you've spoken about some of the previous work that you've done that really speaks to some of our societal issues?
Well, I think that you can create laws, you can enforce laws, but I think when you put a narrative onto a 2-minute film, and when you watch that and you feel as an individual, it strikes a chord, whether you are a perpetrator, a victim, or just an observer. And I think we are all those that sort of stand by the side and ignore it, or they know of it. I think they are accomplice to the situation too. So the objective of the film is to get people to, when they see this film, to come out of it and say, you know what, I need to do something about it, no matter how little, to go and report it or tell someone, don't do that. And I think it's also young people, young people also come up, growing up, and they see this and it's like almost the norm, and then they adopt it. So those kind of mindsets need to be shifted.
And I mean, right now, as things stand, South Africa, we're going through a phase, or I really don't know what to call it, where women are able to speak up about their abuse and to speak up about who the perpetrators of this abuse and feel supported. This is something that may not have existed a few years back, where women feel comfortable to now say, look, I was abused, and this is the person that abused me, and if I'm comfortable enough, I will open a case. We're seeing, even in your industry, where actresses are speaking out about their abuse. Beyond just speaking about it, what else can we do?
Well, I think that speaking out is one component, but I think as we've seen in the United States, and we need to have this happen in South Africa, that the laws and the process of conviction for these crimes have to be acted upon and done quickly. And again, on that webinar we did last week when we launched this, the minister mentioned that 3 laws have been sent by the Minister of Justice to Parliament for ratification. And I think those are the kind of things that need to happen, but more importantly, enforcement needs to happen. I think from what we've been able to experience, and Josina Machel was on that panel, she went through a process and a very unfortunate situation where she lost her eye in the violence that she endured. And complete sight. So it was so horrific. And, the court system convicted the perpetrator and then went on appeal, and then it was was rejected. And her point of view is that, which was very important, is the fact that, it's like the system says, well, what did you do, the woman or that was the recipient, to bring that on, which is a very valid point, because it's the mindset again that, okay, it was the woman's fault, and I think that shift needs to happen.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. South African film producer Anant Singh, he's partnered with the Nelson Mandela Foundation to launch a film on gender-based violence.